I'm a Zionist. If I walked into a party in New Zealand and announced that, I would probably get a worse reaction than if I walked in and said I was a pee-addicted, ISIS-sympathising prostitute. It's not the kind of thing that one says in polite company. These days, Zionism is a negative term. It's emotionally and politically loaded that carries many bad connotations. It's often associated with crimes against humanity, fascism, racism, apartheid, and colonialism. But it's none of these things. What is Zionism? Zionism is the belief in the right of the Jewish people to self-determination in their historic homeland, Israel. The Jewish people are the indigenous people of Israel. Archaeology, history, and genetics all prove this incontrovertibly. The first kingdom of Israel was established over 3,000 years ago. Since that time, the Jewish people have been ruled by successive occupiers in the land. The Romans, for example, the Babylonians, and since the 7th century, the Arabs. But they always had a presence in the land, and people outside the land always prayed towards and yearned for the re-establishment of a sovereign homeland. In 1947, the United Nations voted to realise the Jewish people's aspiration for a homeland. At the same time, they also voted for the Palestinians, although they were known then just as the Arabs who were living in that area, to also have their own homeland. The Arab people declined that opportunity. The Jewish people accepted that opportunity, even though it fell far short of what they had really hoped for. Therefore, the United Nations offered a two-state solution, and the Arabs turned it down. Almost every country in the world has been established through war, negotiation, or colonialism. New Zealand was established through a combination of these things. Israel, as a nation-state, has more legitimacy than almost any other country in the world, if not every other country in the world. There is a misconception that Israel is built on stolen Palestinian land. Palestinians have never had sovereignty in the land. They have been offered several opportunities to have sovereignty in part of the land and declined all those offers. Further, between 1948 and 1967, they were under occupation by Jordan, and Jordan never created for them their own independent state. So to say that Israel is built on stolen Palestinian land is simply not true. Jews have a tragic history of persecution. If there is any people in the world who have a need for self-determination, it is the Jewish people. They have suffered through pogroms, ghettos, the Holocaust, the Spanish Inquisition. They've been forcibly converted, culturally assimilated, ghettoized, exterminated, assaulted for as long as we can all remember. Israel is delegitimized and demonized like no other country in the world. And ironically, it is that antipathy towards Israel that makes me feel insecure about living in New Zealand and accentuates, for me, the need for a Jewish homeland. I hope I don't have to, but I need to know that Israel is there for me to escape to should I need it, just like it's been there for many thousands, if not millions of other people since its establishment. I'm a Zionist, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a proud and patriotic New Zealander. I can be both Jewish and support the right of the Jewish people to a homeland in Israel, but also love living in New Zealand and be loyal to New Zealand.